Deep inside the hidden labs at Google HQ, a new smartphone is being built. It's veiled in extreme secrecy, a crazy, highly classified project, and we have no idea what it could be. Actually, scratch that. We know exactly what the next Pixel is going to look like. Be sure to stay tuned later on in the video. We have a surprise $10,000 giveaway for an amazing cause. So the Google Pixel lines, the flagship phones, have competed against the best phones out there from Samsung, from Apple, LG, and OnePlus, and of course a ton of others. And that hasn't necessarily worked for Google. Now there's certainly a ton of people that are loyal to the Pixel, and primarily their loyalty stems from the amazing camera experience. And that way I can understand. But when Google introduced the A line, starting with the 3A and the 3A XL, represented kind of a sea change for the whole line of phones. From a pure spec standpoint, they're lower in almost every way. From the cameras, they're missing the pixel visual cord, lower resolution screen, lower processor. But what you got, I think, was the best of Google. You got the amazing software experience. You got the consistent updates that Google guarantees. And despite missing sort of that core for photography, you got really amazing still shots that for most people, you couldn't tell a difference between whether a shot was taken with a 3A or the Pixel 3 itself. This is an amazing value. People that didn't want to spend that $1,000-ish price point, you still got, while a lot of people were spending that money, for now almost half the price. I'm not a Google exec, but this is definitely a space that Google should be competing in. You're offering, again, the best of the Pixel, the best that this line has to offer at a lower, more accessible price point. And you start talking about volume. More people can justify upgrading their phones. More people can buy the 3A. More people can buy the 3A months later when they go on the used market or when sales start to happen. Those prices drop pretty fast for the Pixel line. I think transitioning over to the A, I think just makes a world of sense for Google. So we wanted to do some good. So the charity that we chose, it's a company called Masks for Docs. And they are sort of a global organization who has their regional offices all across the world to try to get personal protective equipment into the hands and faces and bodies of doctors and nurses who are fighting this battle on the front lines. As you know, obviously masks and things are in short supply, and they are doing things today and now. A donation to them means masks for a nurse tomorrow, something that is really kind of near and dear to my heart, and I think can do a lot of good. If you want to learn more about Masks for Docs, we'll link to them down below. For every download of the app through the link down below, it'll be equivalent to $1. So whether you download it for Android, it's $1. Download it for iOS, that's $1. Do both, that's $2. We'll be doing it up to $10,000. When we hit that number, I'll be doing a live stream actually showing me making that donation. So it's full transparency. So you know, not only are you supporting me and a company that I started, but also you're helping give back to those folks that are kind of on the front lines of this current coronavirus war. So I've been using VPNs in some form for years, whether it's to keep my information secure when I'm at home, to access other networks, to keep my stuff safe when I'm traveling, or just to unblock content that's blocked locally to me. VPNs, I think, are super important, but there's always been an inherent problem with them. Seems like almost once a month there's a new report of a huge sort of data breach, customers' information is getting out, and I got sick of it, and I've been sick of it for a really long time, and I tried to do something about it. So this is actually the very first time I've done anything like this. I actually helped found a company that's creating a new wave of VPNs and doing things really differently. It's called WeVPN. It's available on pretty much every platform you could think of: iOS, Android, desktop, even becoming for your browser. But its approach to VPNing is very different. So whether you are working from home right now and you want to keep your information secure, I think a VPN is super important. Whether you want to access content that maybe wouldn't be available to you while you are stuck at home, a VPN is super important. But also a VPN that you can trust for security. And we put a lot of things in place that I think are really unique to the VPN world. So first, you get global VPN coverage. There's over 100 servers in 40 countries, unlimited bandwidth too, and especially now when you want to download and stream all that stuff while you're at home, we have you covered. So it's crazy powerful, but it does all that with a really easy to use interface. It's on or off. So it makes your life secure,
simple to use, and give you peace of mind that I think everybody could use right about now.
So the Pixel 3a has been out for a year, so it's time for the 4a to make its debut. And before it does, we've seen YouTube videos, we've seen hands-on photos, we've seen blurry spy shots, even mock-ups of billboards for these phones. There's nothing that's left to the imagination. Now, when the Pixel 4 came out, it introduced a lot of really cool things. First, I think Google's implementation for facial recognition and unlocking is now really good and insanely fast. There's motion gestures in there that are of questionable utility, but something new to the Pixel line. What it doesn't have is any sort of fingerprint unlocking. You're relying exclusively on either a pin or a pattern combined with your face. If those are features that you absolutely want to have and have to have, then you're going to be out of luck with the 4a, because those are the big things that are going away. What's making a comeback though is a fingerprint reader located on the back. From an aesthetic standpoint, the A might even look more premium than the 4. It's not gonna have that big forehead for what I just mentioned for the facial unlocking and the Project Sully motion gestures. Instead, you've got a hole punch in the upper left-hand corner that kind of gives it a more premium look. It'll have the same plastic back, and from experience, the way the Pixel 3a felt, I couldn't really tell, nor did I care that it was plastic. The phone felt really good in the hand. I expect the same thing for the 4a. Screen size will be 5.8 inches. It'll be a 1080p panel. I'm not expecting any crazy refresh rates here. It'll probably be a pretty standard 60. So from a processor standpoint, looking at the Snapdragon 730, there have been some conflicting reports of RAM saying either 4 or 6. If I were to bet though, I would say 4 will be in the 4a and 6 will be reserved for the 4a XL. One of the biggest reasons that I and others couldn't recommend the Pixel 4 was just abysmal battery life. I couldn't get through a whole day from its 2800 milliamp hours. So the 4a is first up in milliamp hours to, it looks to be about 3100. So that's awesome. But when you factor in the lower refresh rate on the screen and the lower resolution, all that combined with the Snapdragon 730 using less power than 855, you should get a phone that's gonna have infinitely better battery life, and at the very least, will get you through a whole day. When people look to get phones, I think generally it's a combination of what's the best value I can get for what I want to spend, and then one or two kind of killer features. And for a lot of folks, that killer feature is camera. And the 4a should have one 12 megapixel sensor on the back. And don't get deterred by only having one sensor. I think we saw what Google's capable of with the Pixel 3 line of phones with just one. You should get a swath of amazingly awesome things, including 4K video. So you'll get their amazing night mode. They're just insane processing for regular photos and for portrait photos. You get pictures that look really true to life. So the 4a looks to be the perfect combination of value and really stellar camera prowess. So with the current climate, I wouldn't expect an event that's going to launch the Pixel 4a, but we should see it debut online sometime in April for a $399 price point. We don't know much about the bigger brother, the 4a XL, but if history is sort of anything, I would imagine it'll come in just under $500. If you follow the Pixel rumors, the whole line looks like it might get a little confusing towards the end of the year. The Pixel 5 line, it looks like it's going to go a little bit down model, so go from a flagship phone to more of a premium mid-range, foregoing the Snapdragon 865 and going for the more budget-friendly Snapdragon 765, which will come at a lower price point. So if the flagship phones, the higher end ones that Google's offering, come down in price and really aren't competing with the same flagship level phones, where is that gonna leave the 4a and the 4a XL? I don't know what the price point would have to be to make the A the better value, but if you decide to get the A line now, you've got at least until presumably October to have at least the newest, more affordable Pixel phone. And the thing with Pixel phones, and really most Android phones in general, they go on sale. And you can find killer deals on these devices. So you can look at a brand new 4a or 4a XL for either $400 or $500, depending on what you want to spend. But there are huge discounts on the regular 4 and the 4XL. You could go on Swappa and buy them used for close to the same price, and that's gonna be a personal decision. I love the facial unlocking technology in the 4 and the 4XL. That alone is enough of reason for me to want to go that road. For some reason, fingerprint readers never work that well for me, so I'm reticent to go to a phone where I can only use that exclusively like I'll be able to do on the 4A and the 4A XL. So when you look to get a new Pixel phone, maybe all it has to be is just new to you. For my money, the more Pixel phones, the better, and the more affordable, the better. And I really like to see Google kind of going more downstream, where they're focusing on their core competencies, its software experience and its camera, and everything else is secondary. And you still get those same things relatively uncompromised for less money. And for me, that seems like a total win.